This is Slavic D, your personal cash flow coach. And today I want to actually kind of give you guys an update what kind of happened throughout the year 2023 and why this year was my best year since I sold the company. That means, last 4+ years, this year we're the best. Also, what has happened in the last 3 months, and also please watch this video to the end because I'll share with you what I'm going to be doing and how I can impact your life, how I can impact your bottom line and change your life. I know most of you that been watching my channel the last year or so, year and a half, you guys are in some sort of a gig. It's either taxi, Uber or Lyft, or you're in a food delivery, which is a Grubhub, DoorDash, Spark, or something, in that field. And as I moved away from that in the beginning of this year, um, I have not kept you guys updated too much on what's been happening. And the reason is because I couldn't bring you guys along because there's a lot of education involved in, let's say, even in a handyman, unless you already are a good handyman. So, but I am switching gears again. And I am, as you guys can remember, over a year ago, I've been saying, hey, this is just a temporary. I have bigger goals. I have bigger targets. And as I reviewed my goals and targets in the last 3 months and set the new targets, the future is great. And this future will be around people where I will be helping and changing people's lives. I will be taking people from their rat race life cycle, pretty much where they never can catch up, where then that endless race of loss, and taken into something fantastic, into a beautiful world, into a place where there'll be no longer a limit. There'll be no longer a situation where say, oh, do I have enough? And this is actually what's coming. So you guys, in my beginning stages, I will be a lot more affordable to you guys as I move forward. But my target point is to become a world-renowned speaker, where there'll be millions of people coming to stages as well as to the channel to watch and listen and change their life. That is actually what I'm about. But let's actually start and kind of, go back what actually happened throughout the year of 2023. As you guys probably remember, somewhere right now about this time, maybe in January, is when I gave up Spark and I moved on into Handy app. I did do quite well. There actually was a month where I actually did almost a 10K in 1 month, and it was fantastic. I finished up this year. I am not going to say the numbers, but I finished this year very nicely. I've lately been having just one client. It's a commercial client. Been, here and there, maybe a client, but primarily focused on a commercial client, only working maybe 1-2 days a week, bringing in what most of you guys cannot bring in 2-3 weeks. Sorry. But see, even though I was doing good, I started realizing I am not doing what I'm good at. Even though, hey, in handyman, I probably is the best in town. But one thing is, I still felt I can do better. I still felt there is still a limit. The limit of $100, $150, $200 an hour is my maximum limit that I can go with. And also, people in my surrounding, not all of them can afford me. I have seen multiple times where clients said, hey, if you could drop your price down to $25, to $35, to $45, $65, I will still be able to afford you. But because you're at 75, at 100, and 125, 150, at 200, I cannot afford you. It's outside of my range. It's outside of my reality. Plus, also, my health was actually decreasing as I chose the path of, even though in your guys' view, you want to say, hey, Slavic, you're having everything's fantastic. But in my view, is it? Is that all I'm capable of? I was not satisfied. I was not happy because I knew I can do better. So I went on the journey of searching for answers. See, there are things that in my life in 2023 that I set as a target in the beginning of the year that I was not achieving. I felt that ceiling that no matter how many times I hit that ceiling, it's not breaking through. I couldn't get through. So I started searching for help. The journey of searching for help took me wildly. I ran into scammers. I ran into people that actually had no skills and should not be in coaching field. I had people that said, we do not work with men, we only work with women. But I did find somebody who said, you know what? I will find that perfect person for you. And I was introduced to the School of Money out of Ukraine, which right now, I have just yesterday, we had a release for the 3 year month class. Well, of course, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get the certificate mailed to me until everything with the war is done in Ukraine. But I am going to be taking 3 more months, starting around I think 14th or the 15th of January for 3 more months, and getting maximum under my belt. These people are fantastic. See, usually when you get involved with coaching, like in life coaching, self-development coaching, you kind of hear the same thing over and over again. I'll tell you, half of those coaches, what they say, don't even have a clue what they're saying themselves. Like, give you an example: a discovery of yourself, discovery of your soul, and understanding who actually should be in charge and who is in charge. They just go around in circles and in circles. I actually even listened yesterday to one of the coaches, actually very popularly, reached over 2 million people. For 2 hours, I listened. Not once did he mention the word soul. But that's where it all begins. See, the soul is the one that chooses to come and actually put that avatar, that body onto itself to experience and achieve whatever it came to achieve. See, a lot of them, they go in a circle. And I'll tell you about the school of money, which I am and will be part of, and actually taking that education from Ukraine and bringing this onto U.S. soil. I will be searching for people who will be joining me to spread that education. And the unique part is Valery, who has been a God gift to the humanity. 90% of the education, he growed it all from the ground up. A lot of the stuff you will never have heard before and will not be repeated. And no, and other than from the School of Money people, others now talk about it because it is so unique. But at the same time, he broke it down and simplified it, and it's so simple. Like I just mentioned about the soul, body, and spirit. There is a lot of things I can share with you guys. There's just a lot of amazing things. And I tell you, it all starts in our head. Why you're making 25 bucks an hour? It's in your head. And you will not make more until something changes in your head. Why? You're not making 20 bucks, not making more than 20 bucks? Because it's in your head. Why you're not breaking through 50 bucks an hour? Because it's in your head. It all starts in your head. And that is what I will be working with you guys. Yes. Let's put it this way. For those of you that cannot afford it, I'll start off with what you can afford. For those of you who can afford to pay, we'll figure out what it is, and I'll work with you based on education and exchange for pay, maybe exchange for something else, some kind of service or etc. And for those of you that can afford to pay nicely, you guys are in the best shape, and I will put all my energy into it. There's something that I'm gonna say this on the internet publicly and not gonna hide. Today, I know how to take any person, as long as they're willing to do the work, and they will do the work. Spinning roughly, depending on the person, maybe two hours a day, maybe hour and a half a day, maybe an hour a day, 5 days a week, and take them to 10,000 a month of income within 12 months. I have just recently worked with one person, and we just put in a couple hours into that person. I know he's gonna break out that 10,000 a month probably within 5-6 months. Break through that. He did his first training, spent 3 hours, made $4,500. And it took me about 7-8 hours with him. Again, there's a couple approaches, depends the approach that we choose to go. But I'll tell you one thing. Unless you're unique in a field of gig, whatever you're earning is most likely is your top line dollar that you'll be earning. To break out of that, you need to become a unique and start building outside of that gig in the field that you still want to be in. That's approach number one. Approach number two is a program that I have that I'm involved with. That through that program I can take you to 10,000 a month by the 12th month, and that every month that money will continue to slightly grow and grow. The approach number three is identifying your uniqueness, your unique skills, the skills that you brought with you as you came to this planet, those skills that you actually was developing and not even realizing, most likely never charging $1 for it, and turning that into money. That is the best approach, which can completely take you in something else completely than instead of what you're doing right now, and turning you into a unique person that actually everybody will want to have your service and willing to pay the top dollar for that service. That is the best approach. I'll give you guys 2 examples for you guys to understand. Example 1 about what I'm speaking so you guys can understand. Let's say you woke up in the middle of nowhere. You're dressed into camouflage clothes. There's a rifle beside you. You grab that rifle. You walked into the first town. You walked into the first building, and it turns out to be a restaurant. They offer you to be a cook. And the rules is, because you guys have to understand, this is what I'm saying, it's a metaphor to life. When you woke up, that's when you were born into this planet. You have no clue who you are. Most of you still have no clue what you came here to do. But you already came with the tools, and the rule of life is you can only use the tools that you came into this life with. And those tools you cannot never change. So you come in and they offer you to be a cook. You can still stir with potatoes, you can still stir macaroni. But when somebody asks you to serve a chopped salad, or what is it, the garden salad, and you start chopping tomatoes, cucumbers, can you do that with a rifle? You can turn those tomatoes and cucumbers, that salad, into a mush. Now tell me, who's willing to pay top dollar for mush of tomatoes and cucumber instead of a chopped salad? I know nobody was willing to. That's why there is a minimum, and that's the minimum why you're making that minimum. But in order to break out, I'm going to tell you a different story. And I'm going to give you 3 examples. Example number 1. You probably have heard of people who has never played an instrument in their life. They sit down behind a piano. Within a half hour, they teach themselves to play a piano. Yes, they might still need a little help to get their piano tuned, and a few things. But these are the people that in a couple of years become world renowned. As a world renowned, you get paid top dollar. You never get paid the same salary as somebody down the street singing at the church or teaching kids. Then you have a second person. They hire people teach them, they spend a lot of money. They become, fairly good piano player. But they will never become a world renowned. This is your typical, musicians right now in this world. They have a ceiling, and that ceiling will never move. No matter what they do, that ceiling will never move. They'll never be able to go past that ceiling. Then there's a third group. No matter how much you teach them, no matter how much money you throw at them, they will never be able to play a good song because they just don't have a gift at all. They do not hear music. They do not hear sound. They have the negative gift. So we're going to go back to the soldier. So if that soldier would have realized and said, hey, I'm in a camouflage clothes, that means I am military related. This is rifle. I probably am a good shooter at fairly good distances. If he would have walked into military, and if military would have worked him with a little, and put him through trainings, he would have outperformed every single sniper in that division, maybe in the whole country, because he was born with those tools. And he properly started using those. And that's what I'm saying. Identifying your skills, identifying the skills that you came with, adding a little bit of energy to maximize those skills and understanding and knowledge, and turn that skills into a way of life. Turning that skill into a life that you desire, a life that there is no limit. That is right. So my question is, how much are you willing to give to get to a no limit? To get to that person, like that example I said, if he would have went to the military, or looking at that first example of that piano player that actually taught himself and reaching world level. How much? What are you willing to do to become that person in your field of the skills that you came with? Question number 2. But let's say, you know what? I want to actually become unique in my field. We need to discuss, is that even possible in that field that you're right now in, that is not your field of uniqueness. I'm sorry, of the skills that you came out with, but you still want to stay in the field. We still have to figure out, is that even possible? And for those that, hey, Slavic, I want to go with your system that you have, and I want to get to the 10,000 because it's 10,000 a month is better than what I have been doing for the last 5 years. It is better what I have done in the last 10, 15, 20 years, maybe 30 years. I want to change my life. I'm just burning through life and just getting nowhere, and I want to change. I want to do something with my life. So to ask the question, What are you willing to do to get to 10,000 a month of income within 12 months? I know there's some of you that will do it even faster. But let's say I fail and I get you to 6,000 a month, or I get you to 5,000 a month. But you will be only working 2-3 hours a week. I'm sorry, 2-3 hours a day, maybe 10-15 hours a week. Look back at your life today. Have you earned 5,000 just working up to 20 hours a week? Most of you I know have never made 5,000 a month working just up to 20 hours a week. Yes, there will be a lot of education. There'll be a lot of working one-on-one. There'll be a lot of working in the groups. There'll be goal setting, visualization of goals, targeting your goals, achieving your goals. But are you discovering who you are, discovering your soul, using your soul to see what your capabilities is, discovering new skills that are in you that you have never used them before, or you have used them and was not even understanding you were using them. There is a lot of things that we'll be going through. But I'll tell you one thing. It is achievable. And for those of you that have a view, there is no money. There is no way for me to make more than 3,000 or 2,000, whatever you're making. I can tell you. That every second that goes by, no matter how small of a town you live in, there's at least $100 is being spent. Every single second, at least $100 being spent. If you multiply that, you'll raise, there's hundreds and thousands of dollars being spent every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month. There is money is just burning. People are burning through money. And the problem is people are burning through money faster than you're realizing. And part of that money, they're not directly dedicated towards specific field. That means part of those money can be yours, can be going to you. So why not? Why not $10,000 going to you instead of somebody else? Because every dollar that somebody spends, it can be spent with you, can be given to you for services provided. But because you're not ready, because you're not willing, somebody else is taking those money. So I want to say this. I want to hear feedback from you guys like you guys have never done before on the channels yet. I want to hear what you guys have heard, what you guys picked up from this video. I want to hear what you guys want from me. You guys see my phone number. You guys also see my website. Website is not completely done yet because I cannot get people that actually can get what I wanted them to get from my point of view, but in a professional professional way. But I'm working on it. But I want you guys to, I want to hear your guys' feedback. I want to hear what, are you guys ready to make your changes? I want to hear what's holding you guys back. Because I know you guys are hearing the thoughts right now for some of you and saying, there's no way. Slavic cannot take me to 10,000 a month. He's bullshitting. He's crazy. You guys, want to give you guys something else to think about. Look at every successful person that you have heard of or met in your life. Don't they look crazy? But he's looking at you and say, aren't they crazy? There's so much money, but they're saying there's no money. There's so much money, but they're not willing to do anything about it to change the situation. And each side is creeping in each other saying they're crazy. I'll tell you this. Every step between your step and the situation, the guy on the top, there's many steps in between. And between every single step, there's something crazy about each step. And every step, they'll be saying about the guy on the higher and the guy below something crazy. But it is because you have a different point of view. And it all starts here. And when your point of view adjusts properly and correctly is when things start changing. So I want to say, guys, be blessed, be successful. But as I discovered in my life, it takes a lot more just for me to say to be successful. So I want to hear from you guys. I want you guys to like this video. I want this video, YouTube to push this video. So every single one of you, I need you guys' like. I need you guys' comment. I need you guys' feedback. And I need you guys to call me up and let's start working with you, every single one of you. That is, if you want to take your life into your hands. But I want to keep doing what you're doing. Hey, keep doing it. But stop blaming somebody for it. Accept it. That's the reality, and that's what you chose. But if you want to do something different, if you want to have a different results, let's talk. Take care. Be blessed.